So we don't have too much time left, but I want to ask you how all of your experiences, psychedelic, growth-wise, all the different tools that you've used, how has it changed your own views on love and relationship?
I'll lead into it by saying I heard at some point that Gertrude Stein had said that and I'm paraphrasing here, it might be misattributed, but I think it's accurate, had said that the golden rule can be reversed, or it should be, in the sense that, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Also do unto yourself as you would do unto others. And I think for me, I've come to realize that I can help myself by helping other people. I can help other people by helping myself. And that those two are very much mutually reinforced or mutually deteriorated. And that when you can't make yourself happy, focus on making someone else happy, and it'll often end up in the same place. Right? When you're having trouble working on, say, self-talk to yourself, you can work on nonviolent communication and practice that in a very concrete way, which is easier to track than trying to trace each of your thoughts and responses to your thoughts. And that for me, love is really one of those words that never made sense to me, or I didn't quite know what to do with it until the last few years, where you have, in certain circumstances, not exclusively psychedelics, but certainly that is fertile ground for this type of experience, where you experience love as something nearly ineffable, something that's very hard to describe, but that makes sense contextually when afterwards you, say, read poetry, which is not something I ever did until a handful of years ago, but you read Hafez or Rumi and you're like, okay, now this actually is starting to make sense to me. Yeah. And if I were to try to express it, I would say that in my very limited experience, love and a sense of peace with yourself and with other people comes more from acceptance than understanding. And if you are type A personality, if you are good with spreadsheets and business plans and executing and long-term vision and 3-year plans and so on, very often the first instinct is to go with your strengths and try to deduce rationally, pro and con list out whatever it is that's confounding you to try to find peace through understanding. And my experience has been certainly strive for understanding. And I'm not suggesting people should just choose ignorance and stick their head in the sand on all things. But there are so many things in life outside of your control, including how other people respond to you expressing truth or how you feel, that love and peace for me have come more from accepting how many things are outside of my control versus trying to buckle down and think my way through it and understand.
Makes sense. That control of outcome is a fallacy, ultimately, to a certain degree. We have control of effort. We have a control of, are we doing our best?
Yeah.
It's really what we have control over, but do we have control of whether someone loves us? No. Or control of whether they follow the path of healing or do the thing that's best for them? No. We have control of us providing whatever support is best, and maybe that is wordless, and maybe that's very little, or maybe that is a lot. Maybe that is actually sitting down with them on a piece of paper and being like, okay, what is the most important thing for you? What's your mission? Where do you want to go? What's this? Maybe it is that, but maybe it's not.
Yeah.
And divorcing yourself of that idea that, as I'm sure you've had this as I have, where you can get with somebody and figure out all their shit, point to all of it, and they're going to be like, yeah, that makes sense. Thanks. Got it. I'm going to do all that. And then you've figured it out. You've done it. That's not exactly how relationships work.
Yeah. No, it's certainly the case. And I'm a bit of a slow knuckle dragger. So it's taken me a long time to not default to fixing. And what I've only realized recently is that doesn't only apply to, say, past girlfriends or romantic relationships, where they'd be like, here's this, oh my God, I'm feeling this, I'm having this problem. Be like, great, let's fucking fix it right now. Like, let's lay it out. Instead of just listening empathically and allowing them to feel whatever it is they feel is necessary or is coming up at the moment. And it's easy in retrospect to see that. But what took me longer to notice is that I also did that with myself. I would not allow myself to feel anything. I viewed that as a primitive, handicapping, unhelpful response to anything that might be happening. And my belief was that in all circumstances, the answer was to be as Vulcan-like as possible and unemotional so that I could spreadsheet and fact my way.
It would actually be a verb when you're spocking, when you're spocking a situation, you know? It's just being a human calculator.
Yeah, and there's certainly a place for,
no doubt,
for all of that, but it is a tool, it's not the only tool. And if you disallow yourself from feeling emotions, particularly those emotions that you view are negative, right? I can't remember who said this to me, but I think it was Tara Brach, who's just an incredible meditation teacher and also a spectacular writer. I recommend her book, Radical Acceptance, to everyone. Terrible title, fantastic book that touches on this quite deeply. But I think it was Tara Brach who said, there was a sage who said there's really only one question worth pursuing, and that is, what is it that you are unwilling to feel?
Damn.
Yeah. And I think that will take you really far if you spend some time on that. So I've been thinking about that a lot in the last few years.